A little project I was working on for a teacher. They wanted a way to write a list of questions. I'm sure their questions will be different from this. This is just a sample. Write a list of questions and run an app script that would choose a random question and then place that chosen question into another cell on the sheet or a different tab. And in order not to have the random function choose the same question, mark a question as chosen so that when you run the script, you eventually run through and select each question only once and mark them as chosen. And then if you run the script again after they're all chosen, you would generate a logger log that would say, hey, all the questions have been chosen, which we could also put back to the screen. So in order to do this, I've created a sheet. I've put in a new set of questions. I've also added a menu item. You can see here. Let's take a look at the app script and see how we do this. So the first thing is we have created the onOpen function. And the onOpen function is giving us the menu item that we have over on the sheet. We're getting the UI, creating a menu. We give that menu a name. We give the item in the menu a name and say which function we want to run, and we add that to the UI. And so you can see here's the menu item's name. Let's take a look at the actual function. So we first have to define the sheet, and in this case it's sheet 1. You would change this. If your sheet had a different name, you would get the sheet that you're wanting this to run on. And then we set the variable of the data range. That's that sheet, A1 through A10. We get those values. The questions variable is that data range. We get the values and we flatten it into a single array. So let's just try something here. Let's go ahead and let's do a console.log of the questions. And I just want to show you this. I'll go ahead and save. And then I do have this set up already and it's all running, it's all been authorized, but let's see what happens when I run this from the sheet. We have to switch here, of course, to the random question and go ahead and run that. Let's see what log gets created. Okay, so we have a console.log that says right here, let's get the questions, and sure enough, those are the questions. Okay, and then the chosen question, as we continue to move down here, the chosen question is, let's see, where do we get that? The chosen question is the available questions with a random index, which we're going to find. But what you can see then here in this console.log is, well, here it's a logger.log where we're showing what the chosen question is. I just wanted to show that. We can actually, we can leave that. So you can see we're getting all the questions, and then, well, actually, let me run this again, because notice in our previous execution log, and we can check that here. We can come here and take a look at that, and you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, well, let's go back to the sheet and see what's happened. Well, when is your birthday? Gets placed in C1 and it's marked as chosen. Well, let's see what happens if we go back here and we run this again. Okay, so now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Those are the questions. What is your name? What is your name? It's placed there. It's placed there. Oh, I see. I actually thought we were going to see what we're doing is we're console.log the question, so that's always going to be all 10 questions. But if we console console.log the available questions. Let's go ahead and show you this. So let's do a console.log available questions. Here we go. Let's go ahead and save that. And let's go ahead and run that, and I'll show you the difference. So now we have a console.log. You're going to see. Okay, so the first console.log is these are the 10 questions. Now notice in this case, we've excluded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 questions are no longer, or there's only 8 questions available because now we have chosen 3 of them. So let's see how this script works with those functions. So we've got the questions, and then we've got the range where we're going to go ahead and put the word chosen. And we're mapping that to a string so that we can get the chosen questions is this range, get the values, and we want to see what that looks like. And that's going to show you if a row contains the word chosen. And then what we do with available questions is that we take those questions and we filter out any of the questions that have the word chosen in column B. And that's what we showed with that console.log. And then if our available questions is greater than 0, in other words, if the length of that is greater than 0, then we use a random function, the math.floor, to get the a random index number of the remaining questions. And then that chosen question is the available questions, and you use that random index that generates there. Then we want to mark the chosen question as used and print it to cell C1. So what we want to do is take those questions for each one of them. If the question is equal to the chosen question, then we want to mark it as chosen. And then we also want to set the value, whatever chosen question is in that case, and place that value into C1. And then we have a couple of logger options down here. So that's the full set of the script. Let's come back here to our sheet with the menu. Let's go ahead and run it again. There we go. How old are you? And you can see how this function works. And what would be interesting is to come back here and look at our executions and notice, like say on this last one, because we have those console.logs in there, you can say there's the 10 questions, these are the available questions, and this is the question that gets chosen out of those. And if we run it again, that'll drop down to 4 and so forth. So I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial on how to use AppScript to go ahead and build a random question organizer.